Yes, good morning. We are here in our 160M grader. Yeah, this machine was doing breakdown for how many days because we are waiting parts for the final drive to conceal. Parts didn't came. The operation need the machine. So we just fill the oil, correct the level. We just give this machine to them for operation. That's mine, no? Yeah, the level is good. We can give this machine to them for a day. We just monitor the level. I will put the machine to the parking. Yep. $160M. Yep. Let's bring the machine to the parking area. The temperature is already in good condition. Can release the parking brake and we can move the steering. Yes. It's very easy for the machine to articulate using your left hand control. Behind me. Can upshift the transmission now. Now we're in second gear. Just keep this. You can move the engine. Then only use the engine when you move the machine. After, no need to use the engine. Park the machine in the parking area. Okay. Put the machine to neutral. When it stops, you can engage your parking brake. You can lower your implement. Lower your return. Okay. Yes, good morning. We are here in the cabin of 160M Grader. This is powered with C9 engine. And just a little view in the controls of the 160M. Yeah, let's start from the ground. Yeah, this is your inching pedal on the left. This will modulate the pressure on your directional solenoid. When you press this, yeah, you adjust the current on your solenoid. This is your service pedal in the middle and your accelerator switch. On top is your display. You got your tachometer, temperature for hydraulic, engine, articulation position, and the fuel level. So also you have a manual gauge here for your level. That's a standard. Coming down is your parking switch. The parking switch, you cannot disconnect it once your temperature is still low. I think you need to run the machine for almost 15 to 20 seconds. Then when the temperature is okay and the pressures are good, then that's the time you can release your parking brake. Downside is your key switch. We can key it on. Then there's a check light coming. Yeah, and it will give you some of the active codes. Now you got your parking brake light on. It will not disconnect unless you start the machine and the temperature is okay, then you can release it. At the time it will disappear. See, even when I off the brake, the parking brake is still there holding. The right joystick controls your blade function here. Blade tip, blade up, side, chip, and left. When you raise the console, you're gonna raise your lip function. Same with the left. It will activate your left cylinder. Turn to the right. Downside is right joystick. We have a switch. There are two switches here. When you set your engine set to automatic, you can decrease it here. One press of this switch will decrease your RPM to 100. Downside is your differential lock switch. To manually engage, you just press this one and the lip lock will engage. Behind, you got your signal switch, left and right. On switch here. The left control controls your steering. The steering controls over here. When you steer to the left, you steer it like that. Steer to the right. And this is the wheel lane switch. When you want to lean to the left, you can switch this. And lean to the right, you can switch this. The yellow button in the middle is your transmission upshift and downshift switch. This is your upshift switch. Press this, you increase your gear higher. When you press this, you decrease it lower. This is your articulation switch. When you press this switch, when your machine is in articulate position, the machine will turn back to straight position. The articulation will go back to normal 0. Over here is your console for the ripper. Ripper down, ripper up. Upside is your messenger where you can check your performance. Scroll down, setting, total service. Here in the service mode, you can see your diagnostic codes, parameters, system, and can test result. You can do the calibration also here. Here, just transmission calibration is available in this. Your throttle tail, how many times you see. There's only one calibration that you can do in your messenger. That's all. Going up, this is your engine automatic RPM switch. When you set it to auto, then you're gonna set your RPM by pressing this while you set your RPM on that pedal. Raise your RPM on the pedal, then you can press this one. You will see an indication light comes up here in a green color, indicating that you are locking your RPM to that range. Then you're gonna reduce your RPM by pressing this switch. As I said, this is your decrement switch for auto RPM setting. So pretty easy to operate. When you set this switch to manual, then no automatic functions for your RPM. This is your hazard switch. This is your dip lock auto switch. When you activate this, the ACM will decide when to activate your differential lock. When you feel there's a skid on the left, on the right, you can activate it. And upside is your light switches. This is your hydraulic lock switch. When you activate this, all hydraulic functions are disconnected. Only the steering function is working. You can steer even your hydraulic lock switch is on. Okay. Downside here in the left is your transmission control, the FNR switch, mean reverse, neutral, and forward. Your machine will not start when your transmission position is not in neutral. That is the safety. That's the only thing. If you put it to reverse, you cannot start your machine. So you need to put it to neutral before starting. We're gonna start the machine. Cycle the key. Wow, pretty bad. We gotta discharge battery again. I think something wrong with the charging. I suppose not to stop that engine. Okay, start one more time. Yes, lucky. We keep it running to keep the battery charged. We can check the status here in our alternator. See, when you start the machine, it's gonna pop you here a status which says that the steering lever alignment, it's not aligned. You can see it's not aligned. So when I press this one, when I press this, now it's gone. So okay, now the parking brake switch is on, and we can disconnect it when we want to by pressing this key down. Yep, activate the parking. Just press this button. Now I wanna show to you how engine automatic speed works. This is commonly applied when you are working and you need to maintain your RPM while scraping, so you get a good result. You're gonna set your RPM, set switch to auto, then get your RPM as you desired by pressing the accelerator pedal. Now you see your RPM is rising. If you want your RPM set it on 15,000, that's all. Then you're gonna come back here in your auto switch activation. Press this and you will see a light that pops there in the monitor that says automatic switch in a green color. Now I release my foot in the pedal and the RPM stays at 1500. If I want to increase the RPM higher, I can increase it from here by pressing this. By pressing this switch, I'm increasing my RPM as I desired without pressing my pedal. Now, in that position, I want to decrease my RPM. I just press this switch. One push will reduce your RPM to 100. See? One push, one push, one push, one push. Now I got that RPM set at 1500. I want to deactivate the automatic engine speed setting. So what you're gonna do to do that, there are so many things. You can switch off your switch, put it to off or put it to manual. Then this switch, the indication for auto is click off. As you can see, when I switch this off, the RPM was kicked and it goes back to low idle. Now I want to set it back, show how. Okay, now I can set it back to that position, press the auto switch, lock my RPM at 1500. Now once you kick your brake, automatically you kick the automatic engine speed setting. As you can see, when I press the brake, it kicks me off. So again, I'm gonna set it back, lock the RPM to 1500 and work. That's how it is. What else? When I kick the brake, it kicks me off. Your machine have a secondary steering or emergency steering, which driven by a battery. In breakdown and you wanna mobilize, you need to steer. So that's why it was designed, not only a secondary but also for emergency. The moment you press this on, it will give you an indication that the secondary steering is working. There is a shuttle bulb there that when you press your secondary steering, the shuttle will shift, allowing the secondary steering system pressure to run the steering function. Normally it activates when you key on your switch. There's a test happening over there. One thing more, your fuses is here, the upper right side of the operator. Here is your AC console. You got your two diagnostic port over there, radio, wiper. Much good. I think we cover everything. If anyone wants to know more about the machine, you can send your message through the comment section down. 160M is strong, and I like this because the way it was configured is very operator friendly. You can work in the machine without having problem like the old model before, which used joysticks and all the functions. This one, you're gonna steer left, right, up your hose, down, the wheel lane, wheel right. You have your articulation switch, all function in your left and right hand only. Over here, controls your left cylinder, your blade tilt, blade tip, drawbar, swing right, drawbar left. Pretty easy. I think if I operator, I will not get tired for the whole day of operation using this machine. Very friendly to use. You see your articulation indicator is in the middle. It indicates that your machine is aligned. Check this out. When I to the left, you see the articulation position was leaning to the left, but once I press this switch once, it will bring back me to alignment. Check. Now, see, just one press will give you what you desire. So pretty much about this machine. Thank you very much for supporting this channel. Thank you. I keep this machine running for a while because the battery, let's have a look on the battery, how it works over there. Performance, you go for service, we go system parameters. Here you can see your monitoring. Yeah, the battery voltage is 27.35 volts. Your fuel level is 94. Downside, yeah, it says your alternator is okay, so nothing wrong. Just keep it running because I just jump started this. It was standing for I think 5 days now. We are waiting for the final drive dopant seal and things that needs to repair for the right side because it was leaking. Just stop the oil to the correct level. The differential housing is your sump for your transmission fluid, so very critical. That's why we need to make sure that that oil is available, or else we're gonna damage the transmission. Let's keep it running a while, and thank you for watching.